Hey, this is A.R. Neal, the relationship leader. The relationship leader is the byproduct of Precious' relationship. I met Precious in October 2010, and the first night that I met her, I knew that she was going to be my wife. We were married 7 weeks later. Yes, 7 weeks later. Um, I know people saying that was such a short period of time. I want to interact and say at this point, though, I don't expect to be married that quick anymore, but who knows? Anyway, the first night after I met Precious, I knew she was going to be my wife. And as I said, we were married 7 weeks later. And when I went to move to Texas, we were introduced by a mutual friend. The first night after we were married, the Holy Spirit woke me up and said, "You're not going to have her long." And I said, "What?" He said, "She's not going to be with you long." 3 months after that date, she transitioned to be with the Lord. The book, Falling in Love God's Way, my second book, was authored as a result of my marriage and courtship to Precious. My third book, God's Chosen Woman, Precious, was dedicated to Precious because she was very motivational. She was a very anointed. She was an intercessor. And she helped transform many lives. It was written. And then after which I changed my brand from Precious Relationship to the Relationship Leader. The Relationship Leader empowers positive, effective leaders. It also improves relationships in the home, in the workplace, in church, sports, and individual lives. Today, I want to deal with interpersonal relationships, and I want to deal with the subject. Is what you see, what you want, or what you need. Today I want to talk about the difference between what you want and what you need. As we all know, and we have to be reminded sometimes, the things we want aren't always the things that we need. And we have to differentiate between the two if we're going to be effective in our relationships, in our marriage, and in life. When we talk about want, let us first talk about want. When we talk about the things that we want, we first got to realize that a want is a choice. And as a result of having a choice, that means we have options. Everything we want isn't what we need, as I said earlier. But we have to make a choice. Is what we want viable? Is what we want going to last? The second thing that we have to recognize in making a choice and differentiating between wants and need is a want is a desire. Now, there's a desire that you may or may not get, but we all have desires, just like we all have wants, just like we all have choices that we have to make. But we may or may not get it. I don't know about you. I've desired to be with a certain person, but I never got with that person. We never gelled. The chemistry was not there. So because you desire something doesn't mean you're going to get it. The other thing that we have to recognize about a want is personal. It's an individual thing. And the thing that we have to realize that everyone have some of the same wants, but we don't get them all the time. But we all have needs and some of the same needs. The thing about wants that we have to realize and not forget is that wants depends on a person's environment. It depends on a person's background. It depends on a person's upbringing. It depends on a person's viewpoints. So my background may be different from your background. My viewpoint may be different from your viewpoint. Just because I think I want somebody that's a 20, 36, 24, 36 doesn't mean you're going to think the same way. Just because I feel like I want somebody that's well established doesn't mean that you're going to feel the same way. But the difference is, though, we can't allow our wants and desires to misguide us, because sometimes our wants and desires misguide us. I may want to live in a nice house, but I don't have the resources to maintain that house. I don't have the resources to pay the electric bill that house requires, or the gas bill that house requires. I don't have the resources to keep the yard up like it should be kept. So the wants does not necessarily equate to the final result being a good result. Now, something about a need. Need means something that a person must have to thrive. Needs mean it's a necessity. Okay, I want a house, but I need the type of income that will help me sustain living in that house. I want to be married, but I need to know that I'm ready to be married. I need to know that I'm ready to commit. I need to know that I want to be married, but I need to know that I can be trustworthy and that person will be trustworthy. So a need is what you need to, must have to thrive, to be successful, to sustain you. I hope you enjoyed this brief summary of wants and needs. Please go to my website, therelationshipleader.org, or go to me on Facebook, The Relationship Leader. Until next time, this is The Relationship Leader, A.R. Neal.